They tried to keep this quiet, buried beneath distractions and noise, but it can no longer be hidden. The truth is rising now, louder, faster, more undeniable than ever before. Something profound is unfolding, something cosmic, a powerful, energetic event that's unlike anything humanity has ever fully experienced. You can feel it in the air, in the pulse of life, in the undercurrent of everything. The signs are here, flashing through our lives, touching everything they can, but many still walk as if asleep, unaware of what's coming. The real question is, are you ready? Because this isn't just another moment in a spiritual journey. This isn't just another energy wave or celestial alignment. This is something else. This is an irreversible turning point in human evolution, a fork in the road that leads to vastly different outcomes. For ages, the Pleiadians have quietly guided us, sending their messages in dreams, visions, encoded symbols, and forgotten texts scattered across time. Those whispers have always been there, but now the message has become urgent. This isn't a gentle nudge anymore. This is a loud call that can't be ignored. It's not a drill. It's happening. You might have noticed time behaving strangely. Moments slip away like water through your fingers. Days blur into each other. Everything seems to move in a loop that both confuses and reveals. You're not losing your mind. You're beginning to see through the veil. The earth is shifting. Its frequency is rising, and the entire fabric of reality is shifting with it. Those unprepared will feel it as disorientation, confusion, even chaos. But those attuned to the energy will sense something deeper, something meaningful waking up. According to the Pleiadians, a high-probability event is already in motion within our timeline. It could bring about a massive acceleration in human awakening, or, for those not ready, pull them even deeper into the illusion. We're at a critical threshold now, collectively and individually. The vibration of the planet is rising, and with it comes a choice, whether conscious or not, to rise with it or remain tethered to a collapsing reality. You don't need a telescope to see it. Look at your life. Look at the synchronicities that seem too precise to be accidents. The vivid dreams, the strange emotional waves, the persistent feeling that something is shifting. This isn't your imagination. It's your inner knowing responding to real changes. And this time, we're not talking about just another astrological moment. This is something far bigger, a defining moment that's reshaping the trajectory of human consciousness. The next few weeks carry weight beyond ordinary time. What you choose to do with this awareness matters more than ever. You're not just observing a shift, you're part of it. You're being called into alignment with something greater, and ignoring the signs will only make the transition harder. By the time most people realize how real this is, the shift will have already taken place. The opportunity to move with it, consciously, might have passed. You're here now listening, because on some level your soul knew you needed this. There are no coincidences. You were meant to receive this message. This moment has been waiting for you. This is your call to rise, to remember, to choose differently. What's happening to Earth right now is beyond anything science can fully grasp. The planet's magnetic field, the energetic structure that holds and supports life, is behaving in ways never previously recorded. Instruments are picking up anomalies, but even beyond the numbers, something deeper is happening. Human consciousness is being affected. The vibrations of the Earth are rising, and as a result, everything is changing. Reality is bending. The rules are evolving. Many are already feeling it physically and emotionally. Waves of energy move through them, sometimes exhilarating, sometimes exhausting. They're not imagining it. These aren't symptoms of burnout or stress. These are signs of an internal upgrade. It's not just the planet that's shifting. Every living being is transforming alongside it. The veil that once separated the spiritual from the physical is thinning. Time is no longer linear. Past, present, and future are beginning to collapse into one field. We call this timeline convergence, and it's why so many are experiencing déjà vu, prophetic dreams, and the sense of reliving certain moments. Reality, as we've known it, is dissolving. The old constructs are failing to hold. You may have noticed how decisions now carry more weight. What once took years to unfold now manifests in weeks, sometimes days. Thoughts feel more potent, emotions more amplified. You're being shown how powerful your energy truly is. Every choice, every thought, every intention now shapes your reality more quickly and more clearly. This is no accident. It's a natural byproduct of the rising frequency on Earth. But not everyone is adjusting smoothly. The Pleiadians have spoken of this exact moment, where reality would begin to stretch and warp, causing people to feel unsteady in their perception. Some days may feel dreamlike. Colors more vivid, sounds more intense. You might sense presences you can't explain, or feel your emotions rise and fall in ways that don't make logical sense. You may hear tones, feel tingles, or notice your thoughts becoming externalized in unexpected ways. This isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. The frequencies entering the Earth right now are stripping away illusions. They're dissolving the separation between you and the greater truth. And as this veil lifts, things that once felt hidden are surfacing. You're beginning to see more clearly, not just with your eyes, but with your entire being. Hidden capacities are stirring. Ancient wisdom you've never studied begins to feel familiar. Gifts you never knew you had start to awaken. At the heart of this transformation is the human DNA itself. Long dormant strands are becoming active, responding to the energy waves arriving from the galactic center. These waves are not random. They're encoded with memory, with purpose. They are triggering something buried deep within your genetic structure. This isn't just a metaphor. Many people are already noticing it in their intuition, their increased sensitivity, and their sense of connection with others in the world. Telepathy, energetic perception, emotional clarity. These are signs of an internal evolution that is very much real. The body is responding, the soul is remembering, and the mind is catching up. These waves coming from the center of our galaxy aren't just affecting the planet. They're awakening the deepest parts of your soul. Even people who never saw themselves as spiritual are beginning to feel the shift. They're drawn to ancient knowledge. They're waking up from the illusions of this world. They're realizing that something bigger is unfolding, and they're not just watching it happen. They're part of it. This energy is here to help, not harm. It's an invitation to evolve. And those who open their hearts to it will find themselves breaking free of limitations that once defined them. The past no longer needs to hold you. The future is not fixed. It's being written now by you. There are unmistakable signs that this shift is already affecting you. You may feel sudden exhaustion that has no clear cause, an exhaustion so deep it feels cellular. That's your body recalibrating. It's adjusting to energies it's never had to hold before. Then, just as quickly, bursts of energy may surge through you, so intense you can't sit still. You might feel wired, activated, like electricity is running through your veins. This isn't random. It's your system learning to hold higher frequencies. Your usual routines might no longer feel manageable. Time itself seems unreliable. Some days stretch endlessly, while others vanish before you can grasp them. It might feel like entire sections of time are missing, or as if you've lived a week in one afternoon. This isn't just perception. It's the breakdown of linear time as new frequencies push you toward multidimensional awareness. Dreams become more vivid, more emotional, more real. You wake up with a sense that the dream wasn't just imagination. It was a message, a memory, or a journey. You might meet beings, visit places that feel more like home than your waking life, or receive insights that guide your choices in the waking world. These dreams are not illusions. They are the bridge between the old and the new, offering glimpses into who you truly are and what you came here to do. So if you've been feeling off, if reality feels strange, if you've noticed patterns breaking, time warping, or your inner world expanding, you're not alone. You're not broken. You're awakening. This is what it feels like to step into the new frequency. The old world is fading, and something miraculous is emerging. You're standing at the threshold now, being asked to choose consciously, powerfully, whether to remain anchored in what was or to rise into what can be. The energy is here. The timeline is shifting. The only question that remains is, will you shift with it? In our waking life, these powerful dreams we're having aren't just our minds sorting out the events of the day. They're more like transmissions, messages guiding us through the transformation currently unfolding across the planet. As the veil between dimensions thins, it becomes easier to access deeper wisdom, not only from our subconscious, but also from higher realms. When people awaken from these dreams, they often feel as though they've been somewhere else entirely. There's a lingering sensation of having received something profound, a knowing that's hard to explain with words. As this inner shift intensifies, many are beginning to experience a sense of detachment from the physical and material world. The things that once seemed crucial, money, possessions, status, start to lose their grip. It's not that people stop caring completely. It's that they begin to realize that these external things don't carry the meaning they once did. Instead, what's rising to the surface is a deeper awareness of what truly matters: energy, consciousness, connection, and inner truth. As a result, people may find themselves naturally letting go of things they once clung to, whether it's material items, unhealthy relationships, or limiting beliefs. This release doesn't feel like loss. It feels like a quiet liberation. There's a recognition that true fulfillment can never be sourced from the outside world. This shift can feel destabilizing, especially in a culture that idolizes material success. But those who are experiencing it can't ignore the pull towards something more authentic, something that feels aligned with the soul. One of the most unmistakable signs of this energetic transition is the increase in synchronicities. Repeating numbers like 1111, 222, or 444 seem to show up just when they're needed most. These aren't coincidences. They're signals. The universe is speaking in patterns, and those who are paying attention can feel it. Events, conversations, even lyrics in songs start to line up in uncanny ways, delivering messages and nudges toward clarity. There's also a rise in déjà vu, those strange moments where it feels like you've lived through something before. These aren't glitches. They're reminders that reality isn't as linear as we've been taught. As the barriers between dimensions begin to dissolve, we're starting to glimpse the true, interconnected nature of all things. Those who are noticing these shifts aren't imagining them. They're tuning in to the frequency of change that's rippling through the collective. At the same time, invisible forces are working to delay or distract from this awakening. There are structures and systems, many of them hidden, designed to keep human consciousness tethered to lower frequencies. Many people feel they're right on the edge of a breakthrough, only to find themselves pulled back, confused, or drained. This isn't by chance. We're living in a time when great effort is being made to prevent the expansion of consciousness, and one of the most pervasive tools being used is distraction. Artificially generated content, especially via algorithms and AI, is being used to saturate minds with non-stop stimulation. Endless scrolling, addictive entertainment, and waves of meaningless media are crafted to fill the mental space that could otherwise be used for introspection. These distractions seem harmless, even fun, but they're doing something far more significant. They are distorting attention. They pull people out of the present moment, fragment their focus, and make it difficult to access the quiet, inner voice of intuition. The emotional roller coasters they create through curated content, outrage cycles, and dopamine-driven engagement keep people looping through highs and lows, draining their spiritual sensitivity. But beyond digital distractions lies an even more ancient tool of suppression: fear. Fear is being strategically used to keep humanity vibrating at a lower frequency. Fear-based programming is constantly being fed through the news, manufactured crises, and collective narratives designed to provoke emotional reactions. When people are in a state of fear, they shift into survival mode. Their energy becomes dense, reactive, and focused entirely on the external world. In this state, it becomes nearly impossible to access the higher realms of consciousness where clarity and peace reside. Fear pulls attention outward. It keeps people looking at threats, losses, and imagined futures rather than turning inward for wisdom. The longer people stay in that reactive state, the more disconnected they become from their own intuitive power. And this disconnection serves a purpose. It keeps people from awakening fully, from realizing just how expansive and powerful their true selves really are. Another subtle but effective method used to interfere with spiritual growth is the distortion of spiritual teachings themselves. While there are genuine paths of enlightenment, many have been altered or misrepresented. What was once sacred knowledge has, in many cases, been diluted, monetized, or twisted into something unrecognizable. False gurus, ego-driven philosophies, and spiritual consumerism have created confusion in the very places people seek truth. This leads many seekers into cycles of chasing enlightenment rather than embodying it. There's a tendency to seek quick fixes, instant manifestations, rapid ascension, or formulas for spiritual success, rather than embracing the inner work, humility, and patience that true transformation requires. As a result, some become more lost in illusion, confusing temporary emotional highs for genuine awakening. These distortions can be difficult to recognize because they often come dressed in light, using the language of love and ascension while subtly feeding the ego. Alongside this spiritual misdirection, there's also a technological layer interfering with human intuition. Electromagnetic frequencies, emitted constantly through phones, satellites, and other devices, have become so prevalent that most people no longer notice their presence. But our bodies and minds are deeply sensitive to energy. When surrounded by artificial frequencies day and night, our natural ability to tune in becomes compromised. People report brain fog, mood swings, anxiety, and an inability to focus, all signs that their energetic field is being disrupted. These frequencies don't just interfere with thought. They create a kind of static, a noise that drowns out the subtler, quieter messages from higher consciousness. In this environment, it becomes difficult to tell the difference between a true intuitive insight and a thought planted by external programming. And the more overwhelmed the mind becomes, the harder it is to find stillness. One of the more complex tactics being used to trap people is the manipulation of time itself. Many are finding themselves caught in cycles that feel repetitive, facing the same challenges, emotions, or setbacks again and again. These timeline loops are not always the result of personal failure. In many cases, they are constructed patterns meant to hold individuals in place. When you feel stuck in a loop, you begin to lose faith in change. You begin to doubt the possibility of true transformation. This creates a kind of spiritual exhaustion, making it easier to fall back into distraction, fear, or apathy. But these loops can be broken, and the key to doing so lies in shifting your perception entirely, embracing the fifth-dimensional mindset that is now becoming more accessible. The world, as we knew it, is being reshaped, and with it, we are being invited to shift how we think, how we feel, and how we relate to everything around us. The fifth-dimensional mindset is not based on separation. It's not about dividing life into right and wrong, success and failure, light and dark. Instead, it's based on unity. It understands that all experiences, even the most difficult ones, have value. Every moment is an opportunity to expand, to learn, and to become more fully who we are. When you stop labeling life in binary terms, you free yourself from the emotional tug-of-war that keeps you stuck. You begin to see life as a flow, not a battlefield. This new way of seeing also requires a shift from linear thinking to intuitive presence. The third-dimensional world relied on logic, structure, and planning, on building from the past into a predictable future. But that old system is breaking down. The new energy calls for something more fluid. It asks us to listen inwardly, to make decisions based on alignment rather than analysis, and to follow what feels true, even when it doesn't make sense on paper. Intuition becomes the guide, and presence becomes the compass. In this space, you're no longer driven by fear or control. You're moved by trust, by resonance, by the quiet knowing that rises from within. And when you live from that space, you no longer need to chase external validation. You no longer fall for the illusions of separation or limitation. You begin to embody the truth that's been waiting inside you all along. The shift is real. The world is changing, and you are being called, not to survive, not to escape, but to awaken, to remember, and to return to the deepest truth of who you are. There's a powerful inner shift happening now, and it's changing how we move through life. The most important guidance no longer comes from outside sources, but from within. That quiet inner knowing, the one that's so often brushed aside by the logical mind, is revealing itself as the most reliable compass we have. It's not the brain, but the heart that's beginning to take the lead, gently pulling us in directions our rational thoughts might never have considered. And as this shift continues, many people are becoming far more sensitive to energy, picking up on what's unspoken and seeing the truth beneath the surface. There's a growing sense of simply knowing something is going to happen before it does, even without tangible evidence. For those who cling tightly to the old ways of thinking, who rely only on logic and resist the unfamiliar, this time may feel deeply unsettling. The old frameworks just don't work the same way anymore. Trying to make sense of everything with the mind alone leaves many feeling lost. But for those who are willing to trust their intuition, to lean into the guidance coming from within, a whole new kind of clarity emerges. There's a grace that starts to move through life, helping things fall into place in ways that feel almost magical. And as this deeper awareness awakens, the speed at which manifestation happens begins to change dramatically. In the old world, creating what you wanted often meant years of pushing, effort, and waiting. But now, as we shift into the energy of the fifth dimension, the rules have changed. Thoughts and emotions are no longer distant echoes that take time to materialize. They're shaping our reality almost immediately. What you focus on, whether it lifts you up or drags you down, begins to appear around you more quickly than ever. So the energy we hold, every belief, every thought, every emotion, matters more than we might have ever imagined. There's no more waiting for some distant future to bring your dreams to life. What you carry in your heart and mind is your life now. That means there's a new kind of responsibility at play. It's not about being perfect, but about being conscious. Unchecked fear, doubt, or anger can manifest just as swiftly as hope, love, and joy. So it becomes essential to stay connected to that place of inner harmony, to tune your thoughts and emotions to the reality you actually want to live in. Those who learn to do this will find themselves moving through life with surprising ease, witnessing healing, transformation, and abundance unfold with far less resistance than ever before. At the same time, something else is quietly unraveling. The old motivations that once drove people, ambitions built around status, material wealth, or the need for external approval, are beginning to lose their grip. These goals that once seemed so important are starting to feel empty, like echoes of a version of life that no longer fits. The ego, which once stood at the center of everything, is starting to fade. And in its place, something much more profound is awakening, a calling from the soul itself. People are being drawn inward, urged to live with more intention, to create from the heart, and to serve something greater than themselves. It's not something that's being forced, it's rising up naturally. The more someone resists it, the more they feel like something's off. But those who welcome this new rhythm are discovering a purpose that runs deeper than anything they've ever known. Life isn't just about surviving anymore. It's not about chasing after goals set by someone else. It's becoming about expression, creativity, and connection, about living in alignment with who you truly are. And with this expansion of consciousness, time itself begins to shift. The loops that once kept people trapped in repeating patterns, reliving the same lessons, making the same mistakes, are finally breaking open. So many have spent lifetimes going in circles, trying to heal the same wounds or overcome the same blocks. But now, a new timeline is opening, one that allows for leaps in growth that defy the old rules. Things that once took decades to understand are now becoming clear in a moment. The grip of the past is loosening, and the fear of the future is dissolving. In its place, only the present moment remains, alive with potential, vibrating with all that could be. When you truly step into this space, you find yourself moving forward more freely than ever, no longer held back by the old limitations. This is the true gift of the fifth dimensional shift, a space where growth is limitless and anything becomes possible. And we are not alone in this transformation. The universe is aligning everything to amplify this shift. A series of powerful cosmic events is now on the horizon, ready to accelerate the awakening across Earth. These moments aren't random or accidental. They are part of a divine orchestration designed to lift humanity into a new frequency. As the planet continues to rise in vibration, these cosmic forces will become more active. Waves of energy will ripple through everything we know, changing not just how we think, but the very structure of our physical and energetic bodies, even influencing our DNA. This isn't about fear. It's about evolution. These waves are here to propel us forward, to help us remember who we are. For those who are ready, these events will open gateways into higher states of being. But for those still resisting change, they may bring discomfort or confusion. The key is surrender, letting go of what no longer serves and trusting the process that's unfolding. One of the most transformative of these events will come through the sun itself. Soon, a surge of solar energy will begin pulsing through our solar system. But these are not ordinary solar storms. They carry encoded light, frequencies that awaken something ancient and sacred within us. As these solar flashes intensify, they will activate dormant aspects of our DNA, unlocking higher awareness and reconnecting us to our true essence. People may begin to feel changes in their body, tingling sensations, sudden energy shifts, pressure around the forehead, as if their systems are recalibrating to receive this new information. Intuition will sharpen, perception will expand. Life, as we know it, will begin to feel different, like waking up from a long dream. At the same time, an important planetary alignment is approaching. This cosmic choreography will temporarily open a gateway on Earth, an energetic portal that will allow an influx of higher consciousness to pour in. During this time, many people will experience spontaneous realizations, emotional breakthroughs, and an overwhelming sense that they are being guided by something far greater than themselves. Time may feel elastic, stretched in some places, paused in others. Some will receive messages from higher dimensional beings, whether in dreams, meditations, or intuitive flashes. It will feel as though the veil is lifting and the soul is finally able to remember its original blueprint. This is a rare and sacred opportunity to step fully into your true self, shedding the old skin and embracing what you were always meant to be. As all of this builds, Earth's own heartbeat, the Schumann resonance, will begin to spike. This natural frequency of the planet is intimately connected with human consciousness. When it rises, we rise with it. And as it continues to climb, more and more people will wake up, sometimes gradually, sometimes in a flash. What was once hidden or denied will come to light. Many will begin to question the world around them, seeking answers they never thought to ask. Dreams may become more vivid. Memories of past lives or soul connections may begin resurfacing. This isn't a shift you can ignore. It will touch every part of life, our thoughts, our emotions, even how our bodies feel. And the changes don't stop there. The cosmos will continue to send messages in the form of increased asteroid activity. These aren't just random rocks in space. They carry energy and information. Historically, spikes in asteroid movement have coincided with major leaps in human evolution, and this time is no exception. Some of these cosmic visitors will trigger new scientific insights, offering glimpses into the origins of our universe or revealing truths about who we really are. Others will act as catalysts, shaking things up just enough to awaken what has been dormant. Whether they come as messengers or mirrors, their presence will mark a turning point, reminding humanity that the time for change is now. And then, something completely unexpected will arrive. A celestial body not currently accounted for, moving into our solar system and shifting the energetic balance in a way we've never experienced. Its presence will be undeniable. Many will feel something shift inside, even if they can't explain why. It might stir a desire to move, to explore, to connect with new people or ideas. It may feel like destiny itself is being rewritten in real time. This visitor, whatever its form, may act like a mirror held up to humanity, reflecting back our true essence and asking us to see ourselves clearly. Whether it stays briefly or lingers for a while, its influence will leave an imprint on the collective soul, signaling that the universe is not just watching but actively guiding this transformation. None of these events are happening by accident. They are threads in a vast cosmic tapestry, woven with divine intelligence and care. The awakening that is unfolding is bigger than any one person. It is a calling to rise, to evolve, and to remember what it truly means to be alive. The world is changing faster than ever before, and we are standing at the edge of something completely new. We are no longer just observers of transformation. We are participants, and the way forward begins with embracing this shift from the heart. Although the path ahead may seem uncertain, one thing is clear: the universe is speaking more loudly and clearly than ever before. And for those who are willing to listen, not just with their ears, but with their inner senses, this moment holds the power to completely transform who they are and how they live. As the energy on the planet shifts, a powerful transformation is aligning itself with each of us. But your ability to move through this transition with grace depends not only on what you say yes to, but also on what you choose to walk away from. This isn't just about reaching for higher frequencies. It's about knowing how to protect your energy and not letting anything pull you back into the lower patterns that once kept you stuck. The things that drain your energy now are not always obvious. They're woven into routines, conversations, distractions, into the very fabric of what once felt normal. But their impact is far from harmless. They can subtly block your growth, dim your light, and fog your clarity. And so, it's not about rejecting the world in fear, but about stepping into your wisdom. It's about learning where to direct your energy and recognizing when something no longer belongs in your field. One of the most disruptive things you can do in this time of awakening is to doubt your own experiences. The universe is constantly nudging you through synchronicities, signs, intuitive insights, and these messages are here to guide you into alignment with your higher self. But when you brush them off, when you call them coincidence or imagination, you weaken your connection to your inner knowing. Doubt doesn't just make you unsure. It lowers your vibration and places a wall between you and your spiritual truth. Many people silence their inner voice out of habit, convincing themselves that their intuition is unreliable or even unreal. But the truth is, your imagination isn't a fantasy. It's a doorway, a bridge to higher knowledge. When you allow yourself to trust what you feel, what you sense beyond logic, your consciousness expands and your path becomes clearer. But when you let skepticism take over, you shut down that expansion and delay the unfolding of your purpose. Another subtle but powerful trap is the influence of low-vibration media. Much of what is broadcast into the collective field isn't meant to uplift or awaken. It's designed to confuse, divide, and distract. News cycles full of fear, violent imagery, and constant crisis keep people locked in a state of emotional survival. And without even realizing it, the mind begins to adopt these messages as reality. Every soundbite, every image, every narrative, whether true or not, shapes your perception. When you absorb content rooted in fear, you start to embody that energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, even your choices begin to reflect it. And just like that, your vibration shifts downward, making it harder to tune into the higher truths waiting for you. In this era of awakening, being selective about what you let into your mind is a form of spiritual self-care. Your awareness is sacred, and what you feed it either expands your light or dims it. In the same way, relying too heavily on outside validation keeps you trapped in disconnection. For so long, people have been trained to look outward, to ask others for permission before trusting themselves. Whether it's approval from a friend, likes on a post, or confirmation from a supposed expert, this constant external referencing weakens your inner compass. But in this new paradigm, your intuition is your most accurate guide. You are being asked to reclaim your authority and stop handing your power away to anyone outside of yourself. Your path is unique. No one else can see it the way you do. And the universe is speaking directly to you, through your dreams, your feelings, your sudden knowings. The more you trust this quiet guidance, the stronger it becomes. There is also a growing tendency to attach to fear-based timelines, visions of collapse, doom, or irreversible destruction. These stories circulate fast, fueled by uncertainty and amplified by those who are still navigating from a survival state. While some of these messages may carry fragments of truth, they are not the full picture. The future is not fixed. It is shaped by what you choose to believe, what you speak into existence, and what you align yourself with energetically. If you keep your focus on fear, you begin to attract experiences that reflect that fear. You unintentionally pull yourself into a lower timeline. But when you choose to focus on possibilities, on growth, healing, and higher consciousness, you begin to rise into a timeline that supports those outcomes. Your awareness is the steering wheel. Where you place it determines the road you travel. And as technology becomes more integrated with everyday life, another challenge is beginning to emerge: the influence of artificial intelligence on spiritual development. Not all AI is harmful. Some tools can support learning, growth, and even intuitive connection. But there is a difference between support and substitution. When technology starts to override your intuition, when it replaces your inner voice with data-driven suggestions or manipulates your emotional responses, you begin to lose touch with your organic wisdom. Some systems are designed not to help, but to control. They influence how people think, what they believe, and even how they feel. And the more dependent we become on these tools, the more vulnerable we are to losing ourselves in synthetic consciousness. Real wisdom doesn't come from a machine. It comes from living, from feeling, from being deeply connected to the soul and to the earth. Staying on the path of highest alignment now means making clear choices. It means protecting your energy, not out of fear, but because your energy is the most precious thing you have. When you choose to stop giving your focus to what lowers your vibration, you free yourself. You become a living example of what it means to move through this transformation with strength and clarity. The universe is not leaving you to figure this out alone. It's offering you signs, messages, support, all of it leading you to your next evolution. The only requirement is that you listen, trust, and move forward with purpose. And as you move forward, aligning with this higher frequency isn't something that just happens. It's something you participate in. The earth itself is rising, and with it, your consciousness has the opportunity to elevate beyond anything you've known. But this shift can be intense, even overwhelming, unless you take action to integrate it into your being. One of the most important things you can do is ground yourself. The earth is a conscious, stabilizing force. It absorbs excess energy, calms the nervous system, and brings you back into balance. Every moment you spend connected with nature, barefoot on the earth, leaning against a tree, breathing in fresh air, you are syncing your frequency with that of the planet. This grounds you in the now, strengthens your energy field, and helps you stay clear as waves of transformation continue to pour in. Without this grounding, you may feel disoriented, anxious, or fatigued. The more you return to nature, the more solid and calm you become. You are also undergoing a shift from a denser energy body to a more refined crystalline structure. This upgrade enhances your intuition, opens your perception, and deepens your connection to higher realms. But this change requires support. Sound frequencies like singing bowls, chanting, or even simple humming can help tune your energy field and assist in clearing out old vibrations. Meditation is equally powerful. It gives your system the space to process and integrate the new energies flowing in. Together, sound and silence create the perfect balance for evolution. Affirmations can also serve as potent tools when used with clarity and intention. But these aren't just about positive thinking. They are about speaking from your future self, calling your highest timeline into the present. When you affirm, do it from a place of knowing. Speak as if your highest path is already unfolding, because energetically, it is. Every word you speak becomes a command to the universe, shaping the version of reality you are aligning with. Surrounding yourself with the right energy is just as important. The people and environments in your life either elevate or drain you. As you become more sensitive to energy, this becomes more obvious. Being around those who are open-hearted, conscious, and growth-oriented lifts your frequency and helps you stay in alignment. Likewise, curating your physical environment to feel sacred, peaceful, and reflective of your inner world supports your transformation. Your space is an extension of your energy. Treat it as such. And as your light grows brighter, your sensitivity to other energies increases. This makes energetic protection a must. You can visualize a golden shield of light surrounding you. You can work with crystals like black tourmaline or selenite. You can clear your space with sage or sound. But more than tools, protection is about presence. It's about setting firm energetic boundaries, recognizing when something doesn't feel right, and honoring that feeling. The stronger your field, the less you absorb from the outside. You become your own sanctuary. All of these actions are ways to embody the shift, not just witness it. They anchor the new energy into your life and empower you to move with the current rather than being pulled under by it. The shift is not just happening around you, it's happening through you. You are not separate from this transformation. You are one of its catalysts. Now, we approach the threshold of what many call the final phase before the split. This is not a single day or event. It's a period of deep sorting, where each soul begins to naturally align with the reality that matches its vibration. The Pleiadians and other higher beings have long spoken of this moment, a time when the world would appear to fragment as different timelines begin to fully emerge. Those who have raised their frequency through healing, alignment, and conscious creation will find themselves stepping more and more into a version of reality that is marked by flow, synchronicity, and expansion. Life will feel lighter, more magical, more interconnected. Others will continue along paths that mirror old patterns, fear, division, limitation, not because they are being punished, but because their current vibration resonates with that experience. There is no right or wrong here, only resonance. Each soul is choosing its reality, either consciously or unconsciously, based on where it stands vibrationally. And as this great separation deepens, you may feel the distortion in the outer world intensify. Systems may falter, truth may be obscured, and reality itself may feel less stable. But this is not collapse. It is the birth of something new. Your job is not to fix the old. It is to embody the new. The universe is already responding to your alignment. The more you hold your light, the more others will see the path forward. The split isn't about leaving people behind. It's about being so anchored in your truth that you become a lighthouse for others when they're ready. This is the moment you came here for, not just to witness the shift, but to be it. Let every choice reflect the reality you want to live in. Let every breath remind you of your power. And above all, trust that you are exactly where you need to be. The path forward is being lit from within. Time is no longer behaving in ways we once considered normal. It bends, loops, stretches, memories shift, events play out in ways that feel dreamlike or beyond explanation. But these strange occurrences aren't mistakes or random anomalies. They're signals that reality itself is reshaping, reorganizing in alignment with the choices each soul is making. These are quantum leaps in awareness and existence, and they're becoming more frequent, more undeniable. For many, these shifts will feel sudden. One moment, you might feel grounded in a version of life you recognize, and the next, you're immersed in an entirely different energy, as if the script has been rewritten mid-scene. You might notice people quietly exiting your life, not through conflict or drama, but as if the resonance that once held you together has simply dissolved. And in that same breath, you might step into new environments or circumstances that feel like they appeared out of nowhere, yet feel strangely right. This is the nature of the Great Split, not a collapse in the way we often imagine, but a graceful, energetic separation. It's not about destruction, it's about frequency alignment. When energies no longer match, they stop coexisting. They naturally diverge. There's a final wave of awakening moving through humanity now, and it's powerful. It's reaching those who've been sensing the shift all along but haven't yet stepped fully into it. Maybe they were waiting for a sign, or perhaps wrestling with doubt. This wave is that sign. It's a tidal surge of clarity, making it harder and harder to remain stuck in the in-between. Illusions that have kept people in lower states of consciousness, whether through fear, distraction, or confusion, are being stripped away. What remains is truth, raw and luminous. Some will feel this change like a light switching on inside of them. A sudden, powerful knowing that it's time, that they can no longer delay the call of their higher path. Others might experience external events that shake them, that pull the rug out from under their old beliefs and force them to reevaluate everything they thought they knew. It may feel jarring, but it isn't punishment. It's a wake-up call from the soul, delivered with divine timing. This urgency isn't here to scare you. It's here to remind you that this moment, this now, is the gateway. For those who are ready but still uncertain, it's the last invitation to step across the threshold. At the same time, the foundations of the old world are crumbling, not in fiery explosions, but in quiet obsolescence. Systems built on control, deception, and separation are beginning to lose their grip. They're not being overthrown so much as they're being outgrown. As more people wake up and withdraw their energy, belief, and participation, these structures are simply becoming irrelevant. Their power is fading because it was never truly theirs. It was always ours, sustained by our attention and compliance. This unraveling won't be one single cataclysmic event. It will unfold in pulses, like waves washing away what's no longer needed. Each individual that reclaims their sovereignty contributes to the erosion of the old systems. It's not about rebellion, it's about transcendence. It's about rising so far above the game that the rules no longer apply. As this split becomes more pronounced, those who have aligned with the energy of the new earth will begin to notice a very different reality blooming around and within them. It may not be something you can point to with your eyes just yet, but you'll feel it. A deep knowing, a shift in how life flows. Suddenly, manifestations that once took months might unfold in days. Guidance will arise not from outside sources, but from your own intuition, clear and consistent like a compass tuned to truth. The world around you will feel like it's speaking your language, with synchronicities stringing moments together like pearls on a thread. Relationships will no longer be about obligation, guilt, or survival. They'll be about frequency, shared purpose, and mutual expansion. Life itself will begin to feel like a journey of unfolding magic, of living in harmony with your own essence and the greater intelligence of the universe. It won't be without challenges, but it will feel profoundly alive, like walking in alignment with your soul's true rhythm. For those still rooted in the energy of the old earth, the days ahead may feel increasingly chaotic and disorienting. The systems they've relied on won't respond the way they used to. The old strategies for safety, success, or control will begin to fall flat, and the contrast between the two worlds will grow starker. It won't be a physical divide at first, but an energetic one, unmistakable in how it feels. Over time, it will become clear that these paths are no longer running parallel. They are diverging entirely, each heading in its own direction. This moment, right now, is a crossroads, a time of immense transformation and choice. But every soul is exactly where they need to be. There is no wrong choice. There is only the path that resonates with your deepest truth. You are not being judged. You are being invited to trust yourself, to release what no longer fits, to step into your own creative power and shape the reality that matches your frequency. This is not the end. It is the beginning of something extraordinary. The collapse of the old makes space for a new kind of existence, one rooted in authenticity, connection, and purpose. Those who choose to move forward with open hearts will discover a life beyond what they ever imagined. One where the soul leads, where love guides, and where each day becomes a dance with the divine. What's unfolding isn't something happening to you, it's something happening through you. You are the bridge. You are the vessel. You are the creator of the world you now step into. And as you do, you'll find that the new earth isn't a place. It's a state of being. And it's already here, waiting for you to remember who you really are.